to travel with Rocky in the great outdoors. As you know, I'm always unique in trying to find different ways of cooking. And tonight I've decided that I didn't want to destroy any part of the great outdoors or nature, so I brought these charcoal so I can utilize and get better heat than utilizing what nature is offering right now, very wet wood. And the nice thing of using charcoal, you don't get a really huge smoky sensation. With the wet wood, you would get lots of smoke. And if you can see over here in the cooking station, I have a pan that I brought with the Dutch oven, and it's off the ground. So there's no need for it to be scared about a fire or starting a forest fire. But I'm going to add just a little bit more because I want to have really hot coals in order to heat up this Dutch oven. It is at the beginning of April and it is still fairly cold here on Vancouver Island. But so that's why I put in some extra charcoal, and then we're going to get this all roasted up. Hey, as you know in the past how much I enjoy making bread. So I at home put some yeast, some salt, some wonderful thing called rosemary, and I'm going to chuck some garlic into it. Add the water, I'll let the yeast and the salt and the sugar amalgamate with that flour to make some wonderful bread. So I hope you stay tuned and see how I make bread this time in the great outdoors. If I can do this in the outdoors, I know you can do this at home. And then with a Ziploc, and then you can mix all that nice dough. And then zip tie it. And now let's let it rest for an hour. And because we're in the outdoors and it's a little bit cold because we're just at the beginning of April, the best place where you can keep it nice and warm, I'm going to show you, so just stay tuned. The bread is now rising in my proofer. Oh my goodness, it's going to be amazing, this bread. And what are we having for supper? I'm going to make this wonderful one-pot recipe of a Rocco-style stew in the great outdoors. Usually, I love to bushcraft, but today I just feel like spoiling myself and doing a little bit of glamping. So I'm going to use the man-made blue lighter and put a little bit of fluid on there, and let's see if it goes kapoof or it just goes perfect. So here we go. Oh my God, we got it lit. I can guarantee you this supper is going to taste so good. And the bread is going to be fantastic on this great fire. So stay tuned and travel with Rocky. And you might just learn something sitting back on that couch.
Oh, come on, bro. You want this on Travel with Rocky? Adding more fuel to your briquettes? Man, oh man, this is a recipe for disaster. Thank God you're not using that old school stuff. I think you're putting it out more so than you're lighting it on fire. Oh. It's like a scene out of Cheech and Chong. What are you doing? Ah, there we go.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah, nothing wrong with this picture at all.
So now what I want to do is take a little bit of a stick butter and degrease it. Now that I have enough butter in there, I'm going to grab the dough and put it in the Dutch oven. So see where I store it. Because you're at YouTube's Travel with Rocky, we have instant proofed bread. The uniqueness of proofing bread in the great outdoors is very hard because, like I said earlier in the video, we're in the beginning of April and it's still pretty cold. In order to proof the bread, I asked my brother if he could proof it for me, and it was like actually nesting. You put it inside because your body temperature is just the perfect temperature for the yeast to start growing. So, as a good brother, he will do almost anything for me. So for the last hour and a half, he had it in his jacket. And as you could see, he just tossed it to me and it's perfect. It's ready for baking. We'll lift the lid off. And as you can see, it's nice and steamy in there, just the right temperature. And now we're just going to push the bread, the dough. It's not quite bread yet. Just going to pick it up and knead it by hand. It's already cooking. And I'm going to place it in the oven. Thank goodness for wet wipes to keep you sanitized, to clean your hands.
What kind of wipes are those? Not sponsored by, in no way part of Travel with Rocky, are combat wipes, active, biodegradable.
Okay, I got the charcoal on top because I want heat to penetrate down into the Dutch oven to cook the top of the bread. And then I'm going to take some of the ashes from the bottom and put them on top. So now I have it lit on top, I have the heat on the bottom, and about a good 25 minutes from now, we should have great tasting, crispy bread. Got some of the prep done. Wanted taking out the bread before it overcooks. Put it in this nice warm pan and let the bread rest for a while. Then I can get this beautiful stew on its way. Get the meat on, getting it cooked. Oh, it's going to taste so great. I wish you were right with me right now, enjoying this beautiful afternoon in the great outdoors. I have the bread done close to the fire to keep it nice and warm. It is nice and warm. I've emptied the Dutch oven and I'm going to slap a little bit of butter on there and then put that meat in. Oh, this is going to taste so great. Because we're working with extreme heat, it's really great to wear a nice glove to protect your hands since there's no pot holders in the great outdoors. And at home I priorly cut up this wonderful beef for this great stew. Oh, listen to that sizzle. Gonna put the lid on top just to get some heat in there. Oh, does it smell wonderful? Give it a little bit of a stir. And this is where you can spice it up a little bit. Add a little bit of pepper. A little bit of salt. And this is that wonderful miracle seasoning called Italian and a little bit of Greek seasoning. It really just gives it a nice little bit of a flavor to the outdoor sauce. And then this is just some nice beef-based bouillon. Give it some nice rich flavor. And then just give that a nice stir. Oh. I wish YouTube had smell-o-vision because it smells absolutely amazing. I can hardly wait to get into it. If you can see right now, the beef is just turning a nice little bit of brownness. What I'd like to do is just put the top on for a little bit, just to get a little bit more heat, cook up that beef. Oh, I tell you, spectacular. I'm gonna sit back with my brother, let that cook for a few minutes, have a little bit of that thing called Mr. Captain Morgan and the spiced rum. I wish you could have one with us too. All right, it's been cooking now for at least about a good 5, 10, 15, maybe 20 minutes because we had the Captain Morgan, so we don't know what time it is, but bush time in the great outdoor. So my stew is just coming up wonderfully. The beef has been cooking. What I want to do is now add the vegetables to it. But before I want to add the vegetables, I want to make sort of a roux with all the nice little juices that I have. So what I'm going to do is just set the lid off to the side, brought in just a little bit of flour, and that will thicken up that roux just wonderful. So you sprinkle it in. And then the key is to stir it because you don't want that flour to burn on the bottom of your pot. And what the flour will do is absorb all of those juices that it expelled from the beef. And then this will be the opportune time to place in all those wonderful carrots, celery, and potatoes. And then I'm just going to stir them all together so we can get some of that nice flavor in the vegetables. Lid back on top for a few minutes. And then let it soak in for a while. And I'm going to put a little bit of broth or water. Let it cook for another 15 to 20 minutes to a half an hour. And then it'll be ready for supper. And I know it's going to taste delightful. I'm so glad you've sitting this far into the video. If you really like this content that I'm making, please make sure that you hit the subscribe button, which I think is there, or it's in that little corner. And really, subscribing doesn't cost you anything. And it's really remarkable because now I'm in my 3rd season and I've already gotten 200 subscribers. And I know I have subscribers internationally all around the world. And I hope that you are watching right now will probably just share this video with a friend, because more people that can come to this channel of Travel with Rocky will help grow the channel. If not, make sure that you hit the notification bell, because hitting that notification bell will allow you to know when I upload new videos, because I would like to upload every week, but unfortunately with working and life, I don't necessarily have the time nor the energy right now in my life to produce every week. So hitting that notification bell will allow you to know when I upload, and then you can watch another great episode of Travel with Rocky. Thank you. Oh my goodness. This is looking like the Canadian outdoor stew the way it should be. Because when you're detached from outcome, there is no right way or wrong way in the art of cooking. So my brother thinks it's a little hokey, so I'll just keep it at that. It is ready, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh man, cool. 2 pieces of meat, I'm happy. 3, whew.
rip it apart. Phenomenal.
Oh, that's great.
Remember, in the bread there was rosemary and garlic. Oh. And voila, the reveal. The potatoes, the carrots, the celery, the awesome bread made with rosemary and fresh garlic.
All right, Rocky, I'm going to be brutally honest about this stew. And I'm a stew guy. I think I make some of the best stew around. But this is spectacular. First of all, the sauce, or what would be is the stew gravy, is the perfect consistency. It's a beautiful color. The meat has been seasoned to perfection. Like really, it's awesome as far as that goes. The potatoes, which most people have a problem with, as far as being overcooked or unfortunately sometimes undercooked, is as close to perfection as you can get. They're not hard, they're not soft, they come apart. It's just awesome. So this has been a really good stew. And actually, in all reality, doing this over a charcoal oven with flame or heat source without proper temperature control, you did excellent. And the bread, a little bit of charring, but that adds so much more flavor to the bread. I can't get over it. This has been probably one of your best backcountry meals. So thank you very much, buddy. Much appreciated.
Well, I don't think it gets any better than this, sitting after a wonderful stew in my belly, warming up me and from the inside out. Having, how would you say, a Mr. Captain Morgan. And I tell you, I'm just going to enjoy the next few minutes before it gets dark. Okay, we're getting ready for bed here. And it is going to be about -2 tonight. And really, that is quite cool in the art of camping. But I have a few tricks that I have up my sleeve to keep very, very warm on a very cool night in April. Well, I don't know if you can see me very good, but I'm starting to heat up some water to put into a hot water bottle, which I can put into the hammock in my nice down over quilt and under quilt to keep me nice and warm, because my brother just checked the weather and he tells us we're getting down to -2. -2 might not seem very cold, but I'm telling you, in the west coast of BC with the high humidity, no matter what anybody says, it is a lot colder when it has high humidity in the air. So yeah, that's why I'm boiling up some hot water. As you can see, I'm going to slip it in right into my underquilt and my underquilt. And when I hop into my hammock tonight to go to bed, oh my goodness, it's gonna be so warm and so cozy, where a lot of people think, oh my God, you're crazy to sleep in the great outdoors in such cold weather. But my goodness, we're right on the edge of the river. And I get to listen to this. Well, good morning. Wasn't that a wonderful sleep? I didn't really get any footage of me getting out of my great hammock this morning, but I didn't think you really needed to do that. Just gonna make a little bit of coffee this morning, and most definitely a little bit of hash browns and this wonderful thing called Spam from America. Wonder how good that's gonna really taste today, but we're gonna make it tasty really good. It was such a cool night last night, but I stayed very warm in that hot water bottle inside. Oh, what a great sleep. There's something about sleeping in the great outdoors and cooking a nice wholesome meal, especially a hot meal on a cold April morning. The best thing I enjoy is making a hot cup of coffee and doing the Rocky pour. Oops. Didn't work too well. Anyways, well, that didn't pour as good as I would like it to, so you got to stay tuned to the next episode to see how the Rocky pour really works. But anyways, bon appetit in the great outdoors, coffee hash browns, Spam. Doesn't get any better than that, ladies and gentlemen. Truly, thank you. Cheers. Thank you for tuning in to Travel with Rocky. Absolutely stunning camping trip. I hope that you'll enjoy the Teardown, and most definitely we'll see each other in the next episode. Until we meet again, remember to breathe and believe in this great outdoors.
Okay, turn around, bro. Yeah. Lightweight is not the way my bro goes. Here comes the big delivery vehicle to the backcountry. Who needs a jacked up 4x4 when you got a Mini? So Rocky went and got the car where he left it. And here's our staging area, just picking up our gear. End of another great camping trip.
Well, this brings us to the end of this episode for sure. We're going to pack up Mrs. Cooper and head back into the city. Thanks for tuning in, and most definitely make sure you hit the subscribe button and the like button, and away we go into the future season number 3.
Until we meet again in our next episode, remember to always keep on breathing and believing in the great outdoors.